So hi, my name is Cujo. At the beginning of this week, I busted my phone. R.I.P. to the shitty Android phone. There's not many people who go through life without a phone anymore, so I just kind of wanted to talk about what my week looked like without a phone. I didn't realize how much my phone takes me away from the present moment. Not having the phone kind of made me do like a life check, as in like I took inventory of my own life and kind of where I've been at this past couple years. Today I was mostly thinking about my childhood. I was reflecting a lot on how I was raised. And as a kid, to boil it all down, I don't think I was really allowed to fail all too much. And if I did fail in things, I was judged pretty harshly by my family or my peers, I guess, at school or the school system itself. So a lot of the time I ran to like games or movies or TV shows to try to cope. Same with music. I ran to music, all this type of stuff to try to cope with stuff that was going on in my life. In a way, like a lot of this art saved me throughout my life. And I think that's what has led me to make a lot of the stuff that I make. I wanted to provide that same feeling for someone that was my age that only had that type of stuff to cope with what was going on in their life. And when I make this stuff, I feel that same way I did when I was a kid. Finding all this different music or videos and stuff like that, and like clear cut, I've been exactly what I consumed as a kid. Like I have become everything that I wanted to become. I wanted to make videos. I wanted to make music. I wanted to do all this stuff. I wanted to build kind of like a personal brand of some type. Like it may or may not be successful externally, but I don't think that that's what's important. I think that it was important for me to prove to myself that I was able to do all of this stuff. And if you're considering doing YouTube or just making music in general, I 100% do it. You're gonna fail, and that's okay. I think I highly encourage you to just give it a try and just spend your own time doing stuff that you want to try to do. But I took a long time to do a lot of this stuff. I didn't start making YouTube stuff seriously until I was like 20 or 21, and I'm 23 right now. And I think I'd probably wanted to do it since I was 12 or 13, but in my head I wasn't like allowed to fail at making videos or music or stuff like that. And if I did fail, I told myself that I was bad at it, when obviously I was bad. I needed to fail to get better. But yeah, I feel like I might be getting a little bit sidetracked. So I'm talking about my phone breaking at the beginning of this week. I ended up dropping my phone, and the display just kind of quit working on the phone, so I was able to see notifications I got, but I wasn't able to actually open the phone anymore. I actually got a new phone today, and I just installed the old apps that I was using, but I actually haven't been on it that much. I only set it up for like 20-30 minutes so far. And I'm even planning on getting like the minimalist phone app to try to minimize the amount of screen time because of how much I've enjoyed just not having my phone. I really enjoy writing philosophy, but I've found that is pretty much all that I like to do. I don't even really like to post on Instagram all too much. I think it's like old programming that I've had that's told me that, oh, you need to use Instagram to actually have success, when I think that that's kind of archaic and not true. I think a lot of the stuff we're making now is kind of like algorithm based, so the most you can do is just try to make a variety of stuff that you like and pray for the best, I guess. Maybe share it on platforms you like to use, but I don't like to like cross between platforms. I just like to keep it on the one platform. But because I didn't have my phone that much this week, I spent a lot of time with myself. I detail cars as a daytime job. Normally, when I'm detailing cars, it's pretty quiet, and everybody I work with also wears earbuds. So, in turn, I wear earbuds a lot. Sometimes I'll talk with my coworkers, but a lot of the time I'm listening to music or podcasts. And I didn't have any of that this week. I just did my job. Kind of spooky, kind of scary. There's something really interesting about that. Because I didn't have the music or podcasts, I ended up spending a lot of time with myself. So I was thinking about this YouTube channel. I was thinking about the music I was making. I was even writing a verse in my head, trying to remember the instrumental that I'm working on right now and trying to come up with lyrics for it. That is like a whole different process to try to do, because normally I listen to the instrumental while I'm at work, and trying to just remember the instrumental and think of cool delivery for the verse. It was just a whole new different challenge for me, which I actually kind of liked that. I ended up using a physical actual notepad in front of my coworkers, and they like were so confused by me just using a notepad instead of being on my phone. And then I told them I busted my phone because I'm a dumbass. But even the act of writing and not being on technology and really just kind of being in my own head, exploring my own ideas, really made me think about the past and what I can do in the current moment to better my future and also enjoy the present. I realized that my job doesn't really challenge me, like hardly at all, in a physical or mental aspect. When I work, I actually like to kind of veg out to music or podcasts, and then maybe once in a while try to put on an instrumental over and over that I've made and try to write lyrics to it. But not having the phone has made me realize, like, oh man, I listen to so many albums and podcasts. Like, I'm not focused on actually finishing some of the music that I have. I could be doing way more right now if I just listen to my instrumentals and let my brain kind of drift and come up with verses and cool delivery. But I'm grateful for my job. It's allowed a lot of freedom. It doesn't drain me, so once I get off of work, I can still work on the things that I actually care about extremely. But the interesting thing about this week, I actually really focused on my job and was more productive without my phone. And I know you hear this all the time, but when you do the same labor constantly, it can be pretty repetitive. And then I think I tried to take a break from that with my phone and maybe look at Instagram for like 5 minutes. But if you add that up throughout the day, I end up probably spending like 40 or 50 minutes on Instagram. There's so many amazing people out there making crazy good stuff. But I think just as an individual, we can end up comparing ourselves to those people. And I think subconsciously I would spend a lot of my time looking at Instagram in those 5 minutes and being like, all these people are making stuff and here I am doing my day job. Not something that I'm 100% interested in. But I realize the necessity at the current moment, and I'm also really grateful that I can listen to the instrumentals and write lyrics for my music, because that's what I would just be doing anyway if I didn't have the job, if I was unemployed. I even began working out with music, and I work out for like an hour, so I was lifting weights for an hour without music or podcasts. Same with running. I was just running, listening to the sounds of nature, and then when I was lifting weights, listening to the sound of the weights clanking. I don't know, I feel like it's given my brain a breather. Like, it's so hard to do in 2023 right now. It's such a hard thing to do, to disconnect from the internet, because we have such easy access to it, and it is such a useful tool for information. I mean, that's how I learned to make music, and like a ton of the stuff that I do, that's how I learned, was through other people online. So I'm so grateful for the internet, but if you don't use it correctly, you can end up just wasting a lot of your time, especially on social media. I'm not saying that consuming stuff on social media or like consuming music or podcasts are bad. I just think there's just should be a healthy balance with each. I didn't have any of that at all this week. And my mind feels ready to go. It's super fresh right now, like ready to make stuff and explore new ideas. It feels like cleansed in a way. So I'm going to be a lot more mindful of my phone use from this point on. The reason I brought up my childhood earlier and me being afraid of failure and using it as a way of cope is I actually think that that's what any social media or just the phone in general is it's a way to kind of cope and avoid actually feeling stuff, especially boredom. I noticed when I broke my phone, there was like a huge resistance, like a kind of a fear to, oh no, I'm going to be bored as hell at work. But like, this is what people before me had did for like thousands of years. They've done labor without any of this stuff, and yet they still lived happy, content lives. So I'm fully capable of doing the same. In fact, I should strive for the least amount of phone use as possible. I remember this week after work, I watched a YouTube video on a surgeon. I can't remember his name right now. I'm so sorry. Maybe I'll leave a comment if I do remember. But he was talking about how people who use their phones as a way to cope with fear and stuff like that, they come out of anesthesia. They come out of it delirious and freaking out and stuff like that. And people who don't use phones to cope and face their fears and stay present with it almost go into like a Zen state and then come out of surgery being grateful. So I want my phone personally to be used as a tool. I would like to use it to further my music and this YouTube channel, as well as any other ventures I decide to go on. And I don't want the phone to steal my attention or control me in any way. Anyway, gonna kind of keep it like a little bit shorter, sweeter. That's what's been on my mind. Maybe this video can be a way for you to think about your own phone usage. Like, is the YouTube videos I'm watching or just like the thing I'm consuming through my phone or using my phone for, are they bettering my life in terms of my goals, towards my goals, or are they just giving me a cheap fix of entertainment and dopamine?
in the moment.
But yeah, working on videos as usual. Got a couple cool ones coming out soon. Thank you for taking the time to listen to me. I love you all, and goodbye now.